Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. Now, in our fifth season, looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club. My name is Benjamin Bloom, and you are tuned into the midweek preview show, available each and every week on video and audio. So, for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour or more of football conversation, make your Monday midweek a Blue Monday midweek. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding, Mr. David Diamond.
Ben, how are you, mate? Good to be back. I mean, it seems so long ago now. I think May was the last one I did, like after the Leeds game, I believe, probably.
Well, I
Been a
think
long summer.
I think it was good to have a break because we started to
Yeah,
do the
God,
normal season reviews and we
Jesus,
got good
yes,
numbers and stuff. But
yeah.
frankly,
But
people
I
were
think
like, "Give
didn't
us a
want to be reminded. Didn't
give us
want
a
to be reminded. Give us a break.
give us a break from football." New season, Dave. New intro there. I feel probably about a 4 out of 10 for that delivery, and I was reading it quite a lot.
Oh,
Every
I
time
can't.
since I did that thing about Marcus Evans reading off a flip chart, every time I read off something, I get
Yeah,
pelted, which I've
it
set
just
myself up for,
you're
haven't I?
flummoxed, aren't you? Well, I think it was a similar sort of delivery to the very first show all those years ago, really,
All
wasn't
those
it?
years ago. Should we talk about that, Dave? So fifth season,
Yeah.
3rd of August 2015, our first show, and well, there's a pattern here, unfortunately. We've gone 7th, 16th, 12th,
God. Oh, God.
24th. Dave, two questions. Did you ever, in your wildest dreams, one, expect to be sat here 5 years in with our brilliant listeners still here more than ever, and
Yeah.
two, be in League One?
Well, I would have hoped we'd still be here with our brilliant listeners. It seemed to gain momentum in that first season, didn't it, into the second season, then with the rest of the lads coming on last year, even more momentum. No, I didn't ever envisage seeing my team playing in League One. Was it 62 years, I think? So the
What you
lowest.
mean, as just big picture, as an Ipswich fan, you never saw this happening?
Well, what I did say, no, that's my heart talking. Yeah, of course I saw it happening. Well, speaking with my head, my heart talking, but my head, yeah, I guess the writing has been on the wall for some time, hasn't it? Just a general demise and a general, what's the word? Malaise, great word, around the club, really, isn't it? Very interesting. I know we might touch on that. Very interesting interview that Stuart Watson did with Luke Chambers. Really interesting, quite enlightening that what came out of that. And I think he summed it up that yeah, the club was just in a general malaise. And also Lambert, as I've seen him speak this week about it as well, and said that he just couldn't believe just what state the club was. Not just the I'm not talking about the finances and the deeper things, but just the general feeling around the club. I think it was low. So it's odd, isn't it? We've been relegated, but the vibe I get, and I have my hands up. I don't do away pre-season friendlies. Um, the vibe I get is a real. At the moment, okay, season hasn't started yet, but it's a real up vibe, even more so than I think because it's every season in the championship in the last 3 or 4 seasons has been pretty much Groundhog Day, hasn't it? Let's face it.
David, do you not draw some parallels with last year where we were
I
all
guess, yeah, good
kind
point.
of
Hurst.
optimistic, but deep
Yeah.
down, I think all of us were like, no one knows what's going to happen, and
That's a
there's
very,
there's a
Ben, that's a
little bit
very,
of a sense of
yeah,
that this season. Do you not think?
I think you're right. It could come because it's the unknown. For us, it is really the unknown. I mean, and I just can't. Well, can I? I mean, is it? I mean, I suppose we are. Let's face it. We are a big fish in League One. We will be because of the size of the club and the name that goes with it, associated with it, and like it or not, the history of the club. But I've seen people like I saw the Roker, the Sunderland, fan site, basically touting us as well nailed on champions.
Wow.
And I
I'm
think,
going to be speaking to
wow,
them next week, actually. So do
yeah,
you
well,
remember Graham?
absolutely, yeah, 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 yeah,
It's brilliant, absolutely
brilliant,
brilliant.
absolutely superb. So yeah, it is really the unknown.
Dave, when we came down from the Prem, all those years ago, I
Wow, yeah,
remember going to Reading, and I think Nicky Forster scored a hat trick. I think it was Tony Mowbray's one game in charge,
okay,
and I
yeah,
literally, you know what you were just speaking about, the whole Tim Burton big fish type thing. I
yeah,
remember the guy coming on the public address system going, this could be one of our biggest scalps of the season. Get behind the
Jeez.
rules. And
Yeah.
so I know exactly what you mean about that whole,
Oh,
with
that's how it'll
British
be.
and the whole underdog thing.
And don't get me, teams will like to clump. They're playing the likes of no, disrespecting or dissing anybody. The likes of Rochdale, the Shrewsburys, and Accringtons, and Fleetwoods, and teams like that. They're going to relish coming to play at Portman Road, aren't they? Even if it's the third full. No, even if it's literally half full or whatever it's going to be. Yeah, they're going to relish playing that. And you've seen teams, in cup competitions, the likes of Lincoln and other Stevenages and other teams I can mention over the past few seasons that will come down and really fancy playing at Portman Road. Of course they will.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not. It's just total. I mean, yeah, last season, okay, it was championship, and it was a new dawn with Hurst, but you really pretty knew what to expect, I think, to a degree. This season,
Yeah, we need to preface this by, and we'll go in and we'll talk a bit about our plans, but no one on the Blue Monday pod is claiming to be
no.
a League One expert. We're all going to learn as we go and do what we've done for this is our fifth season of it, Dave. Of just say what we see and
Yeah,
tell
I
it
mean,
how it is. This is
I
new
mean,
for all of us too on the team.
yeah, I think from our point of view, especially your point of view, you can probably speak reasonably well about. Okay, there's been 2 seasons now, but about Burton, but certainly you can about Bolton if they were speaking about, bless
Well,
them, and Rotherham, if they're still. I don't know. Was there any latest last couple of days? I looked
oh, on
earlier in the
Bolton,
week.
God, yeah.
I mean, it's just carnage. Apparently, they've just got like, I don't know, was it Bury? Was it Bolton? They've just got like
Bury's
one.
worse than Bolton now. Yeah.
Oh, Bury. Well, Ryan Lowe's buggered off to Plymouth and taken 6 players. It's like Bury's funny. Bury's like a Suffolk and Ipswich League manager, that used to happen. Managers used to leave and just tap up 5 or 6 players to go with him. I mean, that's just bizarre. Well, it's not because they're in a
But Dave,
financial.
I'm sure by a couple of months in, we'll have a fairly good read on all of this.
Well,
And
we said it. Sorry, Ben. We said it before. August is a crazy. We've got 6 games, mate. I mean, I think you'll tell a lot by the end of August. 6 games in August, not counting the Luton game.
let's just talk about our plans on the pod in general. Obviously, we were a couple of shows a week last year, and the brilliant preview show with Richard and Harry
Yeah,
from Bath. The plan originally was to move that into this slot on a Wednesday with Harry and Rich, but I'm sure all our listeners will know after Phil's story on TWTD that our wonderful friend Harry, who we love very, very dearly, got well, and he wouldn't mind me saying it, got rather frazzled and
oh,
overworked by the end of last
incredible.
season. And
Yeah,
so Harry's taken a break. He's not writing for TWTD. He's not podding with us. And I understand Dave when he said to me, look, all I was doing was running my bookshop, making deadlines, preparing. And you and I know Harry behind the scenes, Dave. For Harry, preparing is not like
no,
me and
no,
you
it's
a
not
few
just
some
having a
bullet
quick look on the
points.
iPad. It's
Yeah.
intense. It's
Um,
absolutely intense. I mean, he used to. I mean, some of the stuff. I mean, last season, when it wasn't some of the stuff, it was every single match he reviewed. The amount of research and the amount of man hours that must have gone into trawling through websites and just obtaining that information for me is just mind-boggling, really.
so
Yeah.
we obviously, because he's our friend and some things are more
What a
important than
guy! What a
footballer,
guy! Yeah.
we obviously said to him, "You do what you need to, and whenever." Pretty similar to you, Dave. You get to just do what you like on here, don't you? You have
I
you have privileges.
privileges. I think everybody. I think Harry is probably like probably a lot of the town fans, but even more so for Harry, just needs a complete recharge, doesn't he? And
And
get because you know what, and doing all that research and the season, as the season rolled on and it was going from bad to worse, that must just drain any
oh, Dave, well,
enthusiasm you've
I
got. That must just drain the lot.
Dave, I got
Absolutely.
pelters for doing it, but with my championship stuff, I had the kind of carrot of going and watching Sheffield United get over the
Leeds.
line and
Or
Villa
Leeds
and
blow it. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
watching Leeds blow it and all of that stuff.
And
So I
and
had a bit of an escape, but I do understand. So for those people worrying about it, there will be a midweek show, which in the main will be hosted by Rich. But if we need to swap over, I'll jump in, or Mikey Penty Smith will jump in. And what we've planned, what we've all sort of agreed, is there'll still be a preview vibe, it's kind of vibe I'm laying down, Dave. Kind of beanbags, chill out vibe. Um,
Drum and
so,
bass shit.
and you'll
Oh,
see what we do today, but we'll try and even up the shows so you get one your normal end of weekend one around Sunday night, Monday morning, etc. And the other one we'll record on Wednesday, should be up for Thursday. So that'll be the plan. If you would like to express your thanks to Harry, send him a tweet, because I know he reads them all and I know he appreciated it and I know he loved nothing more than being in an away concourse last year and people just coming up to him and talking
no,
football.
yeah,
He
certainly Reading.
loved
That
it.
was when I first met him at Reading. Yeah,
Yeah,
incredible.
he loved
Yeah,
it.
great guy. Yeah, yeah.
Please, on our behalf, don't go up to him and go, "When are you coming back, Harry? When are you coming back?" Just give him his give him his space and his
Well,
time, and I'm
he
sure,
has
Dave, he'll be back.
said to us on our sort of private, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind us saying on. I think he said this on our WhatsApp group. I don't think perhaps some of his public knowledge, but I'm sure he won't mind me saying, he's just looking forward, and I can totally get this, to just being a fan again.
Oh
And
God,
going to the match, not having to worry about, I put this in my report. You know what I mean? Just not having
yeah.
to worry about it, just being an absolute fan. And well, Harry, hopefully, hopefully you'll enjoy it, mate.
So,
Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy it, but hopefully the team will give you cause to enjoy it.
so that's the plan, and please
Yeah.
do tweet Harry and just send him your thanks and wish him well on his break. He will be back, but Rich did an amazing job last year, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of games this year, so we'll be able to go more retrospectively. And what we'll do, Dave, we'll try and not do rambling 90-minute Sunday shows, leave some stuff to hold over
I think so.
for
I
Richard on
think
the
that's a good idea.
Wednesdays.
You need to, short and sweet. Short and sweet, definitely.
Um, So,
Yeah,
Dave, we were going to record this last night, but at the
yeah,
11th hour, what the hell
yeah.
happened?
Well, I tell you, it's a bit of a family thing. So my in-laws, Teresa's mum and dad, had tickets for this Bobby Robson Save My Life play at the Regent, which is a play is from a theatre company from Tyneside that have written this. A guy wrote this play about life and times of Bobby Robson, and I think it's playing 3 times at in Newcastle. I think from Saturday or maybe tonight onwards. I'm not sure, but they thought they had to do one in Ipswich to memorise, and it just coincided with yesterday, which was 10 years to the day that Sir Bobby passed. Mate, it was good. It was moving. Bit of a slow burner, but by the end, it was great. So it was 3 people, different stories. There was a guy portraying an older guy. I would have been the older actor, who was portrayed as Bobby Robson's friend from a childhood. Then there was a girl, a younger girl, who was taken to St James's Park by her granddad, and she had a little boy, and he got cancer. And so that was the sort of so there was a double edge there. There was obviously the illness and the love of Newcastle, and then there was a guy who was portrayed as being a sort of like a youth player under Bobby, who got injured and had to give up being a full-time pro, and he was portrayed as being a Premier League footballer, so had the trappings of the Premier League footballer, got injured, had lost everything, went bankrupt, split from his wife, and went into coaching and stuff. So it was pretty moving. Yeah, really well done. And these 3 guys were on stage all the time. So
Was
with
this
the
at the Wolsey or
spotlight,
the Regent, Dave?
no, it was the Regent. So
And did
no,
it draw an audience at the Regent?
all the stalls, no circle, but the stalls were pretty full. And Mick
Nice.
Mills was there. I saw Johnny Walk was there, George Burley, another 1 or 2 people, Rosie from the football club, and 1 or 2 other people from the club. Yeah, it was really, really good, actually. Really good. Yeah, really, really well done. And like I say at the end, obviously you got a standing ovation, and quite emotional, really. No, it was good. It was really, really good evening. Really good evening. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we thought when that happened that we would.
Also arranged.
Normally it would be Rich, Joe, Statman, Mikey. Can someone come in last minute? But no, we thought we'd have Dave.
No, it was
So
great.
that's not showing in Ipswich again
No,
now.
just a one-off last night, and I think it's scheduled. I've got the program somewhere to do a 3-night run in Newcastle. I think from the weekend. I think it was the first night was in it. I might have got that wrong, but yeah, it was lovely. It was in Ipswich, and like I said, it was 10 years to the day that Sir Bobby passed. So yeah, it was good. Really good.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
So Joe and Rich had a little look at the squad in the kind of our pre-season friendly pod,
yeah.
basically. So Dave, we'll just get your little take on the squad. We'll talk a bit
Yep,
about Burton. We'll talk about what
yep.
we think Lambert's going to do, and then our wonderful listeners have really excelled
Yeah, I
themselves
know.
with
I
you.
saw the
They've
post. I saw
basically
the.
got everything sorted. So
I saw the post bag. Yeah,
yeah, we'll do the post bag. Dave is
post bag.
bulging.
I know.
Is
It is a
bulging.
bulging sack.
But Bulgur wheat. Bulgur. No, I can't pronounce it
Bulgur
right.
wheat even.
Right,
Bulging.
Dave, I'm going to read these
Right.
out, and
Go.
you come in at the end. Any
Mhm.
particular ones you want to talk about? Some you'll just want to forget about. Jonas Knudsen out to Malmo on a free. Dean Gherkin out to Colchester on a free. Ellis Harrison to Pompey, undisclosed, direct rival. Bartosz Bialkowski out for the season on loan to our friends at Millwall. Tom Adeyemi out on a free. James Collins out on a free. Grant Ward out on a free. Simon Dawkins out on the free. I'm going to completely prejudice your answer by going Bart Harrison. Any of those you want to talk about, Dave?
Well, Bart. Okay, Bart's the case in point. Bart, clearly we need to. He's the highest earner, from what we understand. I think comfortably the highest earner at the club after.
Even with the
Obviously,
clause, the cut.
well, I think perhaps he is after renegotiation of his
I've heard
contract
the same. Yeah.
last year. I think he is. Needed to go, and I think that's a deal that suits everybody because if we get promoted, he's still our player. So we'll see, and he'll go to more than me. Who of Millwall? I think Jordan Arch.
Archer's gone. Frank
Archer's
Fielding they got from
no,
Bristol City.
Bristol City.
Bart will be the first choice, guys.
That'll be first choice. That's a good couple of keepers, though, isn't it? I quite like Fielding. That's quite good. So look, that's a good move. I mean, there was talk earlier in the week of a possible swap with the Blackburn forward. Was it Nuttall from Blackburn? That was never going to happen.
Andy has poured water on that today.
That was never going to happen
On Twitter. Yeah.
Never going to. I haven't seen that. That was never going to happen. I know for a fact. My wife Teresa works at the school with Bart's kids, and they are. In fact, Katia, who I work with, who her lad is in the same class as Bart's kid, and they are so happy and settled here in Ipswich. So that for me means probably what Millwall wouldn't constitute a. He'll probably do a commute or whatever, 2 or 3.
Down to the old A2 round there, Dave. Dartford Bridge.
I assume Bosch. I assume that's what he'll do.
And Dave, Neil Harris will play with a low block in front of him and not ask him to kick it out from the back short, will he?
No, exactly.
So
exactly.
It should be a good fit, shouldn't it?
Suits him fine. Yeah, and good luck to him. I think he's been a great servant for us. Look, we've got this Holy, who I haven't seen yet. You've obviously seen him 2 or 3
we'll
times.
talk a bit about the friendlies.
Okay.
Thumbs up from me so far.
Harrison, a bit disappointed if I'm
Dave,
honest.
Pompey
Disappointed with that one.
have sold Clark to Brighton, but they also signed John Marquis back yesterday. So I think Pompey they're going for it, aren't they?
I think they're going for it. I think Harrison had something to offer. I liked Harrison. Yeah, he picked up like everybody else. He picked up, obviously injury, missed pretty much the end of the season, didn't he? But I think Harrison had something to offer. Good target man for a small guy. Good awareness, good hold up play. So I think, hopefully we don't. That might be one we regret.
Thought you might say that, Dave.
Yeah, Grant Ward was an interesting one for me. Ward was. I thought he may have been
doing his
worth.
rehab with us.
I think he must still be doing his rehab.
Do we have a duty of care to do that?
Oh, perhaps we might get on to something about this in a little while as well.
That's in the Twitter questions. Keep your powder dry on that. Yeah.
I think we do. Yes, he was our player. I think we do. There was links with him with Rotherham again
Nothing's
a few
happened,
weeks back. No, nothing permanent. Because I think Ward had again a bit like Harrison had a bit to offer. Obviously a very bad injury. That one surprised me a bit. I'd have perhaps again wage though. I don't know. I'd have maybe looked to have kept him. So those 3. The others, Adeyemi. Who knows? Who knows with Adeyemi? I think has he gone to Rotherham?
No, I think he's going to go to Sheffield United and play 48 games next season. and be their
Wouldn't
player
it
of the year
be
in the
their player of
Prem.
the year and getting the Premier League team of the year? Yeah, that
Yeah.
would just about sum it up.
Although when McBurney goes through, then Didsey isn't playing many games. Sorry, McGoldrick. People don't like it when we use the nicknames, do we?
Oh,
But
I just want to see McGoldrick play in a deep Premier League in that deep role because I think I just love to see how he copes.
be very
Not how he
interesting,
copes,
wouldn't it?
just how he how it fares. So I hope he does play.
Have we already
Are the other
mentioned Mick and McGoldrick within 30 minutes of the first pod? It's classic stuff, isn't it? We
Yeah, I know.
give the people what they
What
want.
they
Gene
want,
Simmons say.
Ben. The are the others big shrug really?
Yeah, big shrug, big
Big
shrug.
shrug.
Do you want some ins, Dave? Because we've
Give
had
us some
one
hints.
today, haven't we?
Mm.
I've got five here for the
Go-
princely sum
Really?
of
5?
zero.
God,
Luke
love it.
Garbett on loan from Everton, who we
Well,
thought
you
might be
know
a
we like
left back,
you
but
know we liked him. I liked him when he was
yeah,
at
but
Fulham. I
he's
think we
further
saw him
up the
at Fulham.
pitch.
Okay.
James Norwood, England's top scorer, on a free from Tranmere Rovers. Thomas Holy,
Yep.
all 6. Now, are we doing wrestling billing here? Because if he was a wrestler, we'd bill him at 7 foot. You add a bit on, don't we? From Death Valley at 7 feet, Thomas.
Will he warm up with a step ladder and
um,
throw it at the
can
other keeper as they
anybody
pass?
on the Twitter when they get this podcast, what would Thomas Holy's wrestler? All I can think of is Thomas the Tank Holy now, but
Daniel will come up with
oh, of
Daniel
course he
will
will. Yeah,
he'll
he's
come up with
already
something.
done it. Already done it.
Yeah, already done it. Yeah.
Will Norris has come in presumably to sit on the bench on loan
Yes.
from Wolves. And today, James Wilson, we was it going to be Woody Guthrie or was it going to be James Wilson coming in as centre half? And
Yeah.
Dave, we preface this by saying it's going to be Chambers and Nsiala. Chambers
So Chambers
somehow only managed to get sent off in the last game of last season.
misses one game.
Yeah, that would be one.
So
Was it? It's two
back for
yellows,
some.
wasn't it? Oh no, was it?
Was
No,
it a
it's
straight
one.
red?
One, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 yellows, wasn't it?
unless
Was
it's
it?
serious. No, but if it's not serious foul play or violent conduct,
Oh,
it's only
okay.
one,
No,
isn't
I
it?
think he just misses a one, so
Yeah.
he'll be back
So
for
he'll be back. So
some.
basically, they needed a centre half.
Yeah, so you've seen the two. Of the two, from what you've seen, were
I,
they all both much of a much?
Dave,
Apparently, Guthrie couldn't sort his feet out.
you
Apparently,
would
either.
have. You're better at your eye is better at
Spotting.
spotting on a quick. I have to say, pre-season friendlies, and it was 45 minutes, and then like John McGreal made 8 subs, and
Disjointed.
then Neil Ardley
Disjointed.
made 8 subs. I don't want to sit here and
What
pretend I couldn't.
what they were
Much of a
saying,
muchness.
what I did know about this Wilson, people were saying, oh, he could even get in Lincoln's team, but apparently he had a bad leg injury at
So
the start of
yeah,
last season,
I had a bit
and
of a dig, Dave.
then
Bristol City, loads of loans. Oldham, Sheffield United for a fee, and then Lincoln, but a bad
well,
ankle, was
internationally,
it?
yeah, then they got in Jason Shackle.
Player that level,
And of
God.
course,
Yeah.
he couldn't force his way back in. So a bit unknown. He's got a full cap, hasn't he, for Wales? He's a Welsh full international.
I did not know that, Dave.
One cap, apparently. There you
One
go.
cap wonder. David
One cap
Nugent. Give the
wonder.
people what they want.
David Nugent, only England player, I think, to score a goal, and the ball didn't actually touch the back of the net, did it?
Lovely stuff.
Oh,
Muggy
remarkable.
goal.
Right, where are we going? Who else are we talking about?
Well, we've spoken a
Holy?
bit about. Yeah,
Keeper?
so Wilson's going to be in, and then I guess he's just going to have a big battle in training to try and usurp Nsiala or Chambers, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, and so presumably Saturday. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I know it's Burton, but I'm not liking this. So it's Wilson and
It'll be
Wolfenden
Wilson and the
potentially.
Wolf. Yes.
Okay.
We'll talk
I'm not
about
sure
Burton in a bit,
seeing
Dave.
that. Okay.
So
Holy like that unit, 6'9". What's not to like? I'm liking what I am liking, and I haven't seen him in the flesh yet.
is it?
I'm
Does
liking
this involve
Norwood.
mugging off Frank Nouvel?
Yes, I'm
Twice.
liking Norwood, and I'm liking Norwood, and I'm liking Norwood's attitude. I'm like, he's certainly talking the talk. He's certainly talking the talk. Thrives on pressure like that. And you told me, I think we had a quick chat after the Colchester game. I believe we caught up, and you said that, Dave, the key is get the ball to him in the box, get the ball to him. He's an out and out goal scorer. Get the ball to him. He will score.
We gotta break up the Mick dressing room. We need a new dressing room. We need new big characters. And you see people who you think have got a bit about them, like Brett Pittman and Ellis Harrison, but who apparently are a bit larger than life off both to Pompey actually. But
Yeah.
there's a
No, this guy.
point where it's
That.
can't just be Skews and Chambers running the dressing room for, you know, 8 years, nine
No, I like
years,
it. I mean,
10 years.
this guy's what 28, so he's experienced. He's been around the block in the lower leagues. He sees this as his big chance. But quite correctly, no disrespect to Tranmere, a much bigger club. He sees this 28, potential launch pad. Scores 20 goals,
So,
League
Dave,
One.
what I think
Who
you'll
knows?
like about him, he'll definitely come into your punches above his weight in the air category. You'll like
He's
that.
spiky.
And he's a striker who I think, Caden Jackson needs really good service to score goals. I think Norwood will score a fair
Irrespective.
amount of goals with bugger all service just by hustling and, running the channels and
Is
mugging off
he?
a defender.
Is
And
he? Is from what you're saying? Is he an upgraded Joe Garner?
I think he might look. Joe Garner's
I
obviously
like Joe.
played at a higher level
Yeah, yeah,
than
yeah.
James Norwood has, but
And
he
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 did score
might
that
be he
goal,
might
didn't
have
he?
similarities to Joe Garner and some other stuff
Uh-huh.
in terms of a bit of explosive energy and finishing, obviously.
However, do you see him scoring these goals playing up front on his own?
Can we can we come to
Oh,
that?
that comes out. Okay,
Because this
cool.
is going to come in my pattern of play rant that's coming in about
All
10
right. One
minutes.
one thing else, you make a very good point, and I read the last bit of Stuart Watson's. I think it was the third bit of the interview with Chambers, and yeah, that certainly comes out that the club there, that there was just general apathy, which I guess it would be general apathy within the team, but within weeks. So not saying days, within weeks of Lambert coming in, that whole atmosphere had changed, and people were, obviously buying into it,
And
which
Norwood is going to
clearly,
be a
unless
top
they did.
guy. And Dave, now Bart's out the door, must be in the top three earners there as well.
Oh,
Norwood
gee,
straight
think about it.
straight
Yeah, yeah,
away,
yeah,
given
yeah.
it's a free transfer as well. Luke Garbett, Dave, I'm gonna give it a diamondism here. So far, neat and tidy. I prefer him when he joins in, comes inside, as opposed to goes down the line
So
on
he's
the
been
outside.
playing what? Just wide left midfield, wide left, further up.
Left of a 4-2-3-1. I don't think he was on the pitch when they did the 4-4-2 against Colchester. I don't remember if he'd already been
Ben,
subbed. Forgive me.
who? I mean, we'll go. Are we going to touch on this? Are you going to touch on the side now for Saturday or not?
Let's
Go.
talk.
Let's move on.
Let's talk
Otherwise, we're just going to get
Burton,
bogged.
and
Go on
then
then.
we'll try and
Go.
give our thoughts here, Dave. So we say familiar opponents, but only four games in history. So um,
2 seasons. Yeah.
October 2016, 2-0 Chambers and Sears. By the way, I can't hold a candle to Harry's prep. I've just been on for 5 minutes and had a look. April
Who? Don't just tell me
2017.
who was the Burton left back that day.
No idea.
Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
Um,
Go.
April
Sorry.
2017. That was that Easter period where we
Oh,
beat
we were
Burton and
dodgy.
beat
Kenlock.
Newcastle.
Kenlock scored. Good
Kenlock
Friday
careered
Eve.
down the pitch and set Sears up, basically.
Sears.
So it's a Varney own goal, Sears and an Aiken scored a penalty. And Dave, if you wanted to sum up Mick's last season at Ipswich, the two games against Burton are it, because the first one is where he got all cross with everyone and
It's a
put Selena
Selena.
on, and then Selena scored the free kick. You're even biting your fist when I say it. And then going into the last local derby there where Closer scored right at the end. The game before is that turgid
Oh, no.
0-0 draw where the most exciting thing was Muzzy Carroll coming on and trying to score from 30
Which,
yards.
but the most exciting thing for me of that game was that the game. Did they? Which season did they have that Davenport playing for them?
Yeah, that was
That was worth going to that game just to see.
he
I
signed
thought
for
he was one of the
Blackburn and then
best,
didn't get on
one
the
of the
pitch.
best midfield. I think he was
Yeah,
injured, Ben. I think he must have been injured.
yeah.
One of the best midfield performances I saw that season.
But
Outstanding player. Anyway,
Dave, this is the bit where we as Ipswich fans have to stop being scared and think. Burton finished ninth in League One last year, 10 points off the playoffs, 13 off relegation. The last team they put out, Brad Collins in goal. He was on loan.
yeah,
They've got O'Hara in from Man United now. Ben Fox, he was covered. John Brayford, who seems to have been there forever.
ever, yeah,
Kieran Wallace, Colin Daniel. Jamie Allen has gone to Coventry.
mm,
Stephen Quinn's been around forever.
yeah, yeah.
Scott
Mean,
Fraser. Marcus Harness is another one who's gone to Pompey. They're kind of number 10.
yeah,
Uh, Liam Boyce, Lucas Akins, who's been there
yeah, yeah.
forever. Also, Kyle McFadzean, who's with
He's
MK, he's gone off to
gone
Cov
to Cov, hasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
So there's a few in. Javan Anderson, 19-year-old. John Joe O'Toole, who's been
yeah.
around forever from
Colchester, Northampton. Yeah,
Northampton, yeah.
yeah,
Richard Nartley on loan from Chelsea. As soon as it says Chelsea or Man City, I assume they're good.
yeah.
Ryan Edwards, this is an interesting one. Undisclosed from Hearts, possibly a replacement for Harness. But Dave, when you start to look at this, they finished ninth in League One, and three of their decent players have gone. They've spent zero money.
Yeah,
Just
I would say of that team. Where's I assume they'll have the big lump at the back on Saturday. What Jake Buxton is still there, isn't he? I assume he'll be.
pass. Yeah, I assume so.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I do like the front two are always a threat there. Aikens and
Akins has
yeah,
done all the divisions with them as well,
I
hasn't
think
he?
so. And Boyce a goal scorer. Boyce I think might have even got like 15. Oh, no, okay, 15 goals last season in a mid-ish table side. Half decent player, Scottish, well Irish, but signed from Scotland, didn't he?
Mm.
So yeah, I just worry. I mean, I don't know. I look, we know Brayford. I don't know anything about the rest of the team. Obviously, I know about Aikens and I know about
Quinn.
Boyce, and I just worried about those front two potentially against our not well, we will be new twin pair of Wolfenden and potentially Wilson. I do that's my only concern. If I've got a concern, that's my concern. But look, they should, and I think Chambers said this in his interview today, which is very good, which I've been banging on about for ages. Oh, sorry, the interview that was released today. Let them worry about us. They must then look at our team and thought, shit. Hang on, well, what we got? Look what we got. We got Norwood. Christ, yeah, he scored a few goals. Surely they've got to look at our team. And we haven't had that. Certainly under Mick, I always got the impression under Mick, certainly away, and you've said this more than once, it was a case of, right, let's stop them, and then. But I think, now I think we hopefully under Lambert will be much more good or bad, will be much more on the front foot, on the offensive.
Okay, so that then brings us to the Ipswich team, and we had many conversations the back end of last season, Dave, hearing about a 3-month pre-season and what's happening, and let's get the pattern of play and the formation and the personnel organised, nailed down for the first game. So I was at the pre-season friendlies, the three in England.
Yeah.
Didn't go to Germany, no thanks.
Mhm.
And I saw basically 4-2-3-1 for most of it.
Mhm.
I also saw a 4-4, basically a 4-4-2 in the second half at Colchester when a few goals went in as well. So I think people will
play that all the. Well, how Ben?
will pounce on that.
What was the 4-4-2? Can you remember?
I don't. It was Jackson and Norwood for
Norwood up
sure
top. Yeah.
up top.
Yeah.
I have to say, once that splurge of goals went in, do you know Jordan Roberts was playing down one
Yes, he
side?
was. Yeah, yeah,
I
because
think
he
he was
was
playing down
creative.
the
Yeah,
left.
yeah. Ken
If you
Lockton.
check
Yeah.
out my review
Yeah.
of
Anyway,
that,
sorry, Ben. Go on. Anyway. Yeah.
look, we know football's cyclical, and we know no one system beats another system every time. It's all down to what you do and the pattern of play.
What you've got. Yeah.
Um, we know that 4-4-2 was Mick's favourite, is defensively strong, but even at Accrington, you can, even at a low level, get outnumbered in centre mid. And I may be patronising to League One, but what I saw at Accrington was push up everybody, goal kicks, 15 metres squished in,
Get off
loads
the
of
kit.
midfielders and
Key.
carnage.
Playing off Key, wasn't it? Billy
Yeah,
Key,
and you
wasn't it?
can get swamped in there. We know Lambert's done the 4-3-3, which relies heavily on fullbacks, which we're not sure about shuttling up and helping out. Relies basically on one midfielder and the two wide players all the time to support the front guy. Else
I don't think.
there's no one up there. And again, the 4-2-3-1 really relies on fullbacks. You get your whips from the fullbacks. The wide guys tuck in.
To me, Ben, he doesn't. This is the worrying thing for me. He doesn't really know his fullbacks are, does he? Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I constantly argue with you about 2 up front and 4-4-2, and every time you can come back at me and say, yeah, but Ben, if we don't have good fullbacks, what's the point in 4-3-3? They won't come forward. We'll slip
No.
back. It'll be
Well, they don't.
4-5-1,
Yeah.
4-2-3-1. If you don't have fullbacks coming forward, again it becomes 4-5-1, and no one gets up. So at the moment, I feel I can't win the argument with you
So
until we have nailed down
settled.
fullbacks who.
So who do you see? I mean, he's come out and said this week, I've seen somewhere, that he sees potentially Donasian as a centre half.
Yeah, that's an old quote as well, isn't it? I don't know if he said it again
So
this
surely,
week.
but
Well, look,
going into
Dave.
so Ben, going into Saturday. I mean, can we get to the team now?
Yeah,
Or
let's
get
do
to the
it.
team.
Can I just flag my?
No, you go.
Wait, I'll put my flag in the ground. I want him to play 4-2-3-1, but I accept that it will not work. One, if the fullbacks don't get up ahead of the double pivot, and two, it just does not work if one or both of the two centre midfielders are not playing balls into the three off the front. If you've got Cole Skews pinging it 3 yards right and left, or Flynn Downs sitting still, and no fullbacks forward, then I totally succumb to your argument. Just bloody play 4-4-2, go low block and keep two guys forward. That's where I am with it.
Well, let's see. Go on. Let's go.
Okay, so Holly in goal, 100%.
Holly will be in goal.
Yeah.
So let's go left back. Surely Kenlock.
Kenlock's not been around the past 2 games, but the only other option is Bailey Clement. So I don't know if that was Lambert.
Not Garbett.
Yeah, Garbett's an option, but Garbett hasn't touched left back in pre-season.
Oh, okay. Because we saw him play for Fulham. I thought I thought he's a great player. I know it was like 2 or 3 seasons ago.
I mean, you know more about him.
He's coming off the back of a 5-year contract he got at Everton, so he was so highly rated.
Really?
I mean, I know as a kid. I mean, 5 years. He's in the last year of a 5-year contract.
I just don't see him touching left back. And I will say, my rants about fullbacks being important in 4-3-3s and 4-2-3-1, I think Kenlock can do what's
Kenlock gets
required
forward well.
if he can get the run.
So we saying Saturday right back. We saying Donasian because he's not playing.
Well, here's your options, Dave.
Emmanuel hasn't had a look in, has he?
Emmanuel played 45. Dave. He played 45 minutes against Notts County, and he was at fault for the goal. You know who's played right back for 90 minutes?
Cole
Skews.
And?
Well, he sits there. He does nothing wrong. You're not going to get him piling up the line.
I've got to say, Cole Skews, defensively, probably one of the greatest games I saw him have in an Ipswich shirt was a Sheffield United away last year. Defensively,
stop it.
When he played centre back.
Look, I think it's going to be Donasian, but
so.
Honestly, Skews might be ahead of Emmanuel.
Skews played a lot of games at right back for Bristol City before he came here.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Played a lot of football at right back. Definitely did. Someone's going to call me out on that, but I'm absolutely convinced. When I say a lot of football, he is no stranger in his career, Cole Skews, to playing fullback.
But Cole Skews is not your man for getting up past the 2 midfielders and making it compress.
That's a very good point. Okay, so let's
I have to concede to you that no one will support the forward if that happens.
No. So we've got Holy. We're saying Donasian. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Kenlock. We're looking at, and we are looking at Wolfenden and Wilson.
100%.
Now he's potentially signed. Okay, midfield. Go with 4. Just say 4. Just indulge me and go 4-4-2. So midfield then. Judge fit or not?
Oh, Judge 100%. But we need to.
Will be.
But Judge doesn't fit in a 4-4-2 because you have to put him out.
Yeah. Okay.
You either have to do the diamond thing, which I hate with a passion.
Let me throw something else out. Emir Hughes to start. How's he looked? I mean, he's got time on the grass, as the great man used to say. That's what said Bobby. Do you know Bobby Robson's first book was called Time on the Grass?
Can I say?
It's got a whole other meaning for Ben when he was in the back.
In a 2, I didn't like Skews and Hughes. I liked Downs and one or other of the other 2.
All right.
But now, it's very different whether that's in a 4 or in a 4-2-3-1. I'll change my mind there. This is where this should be sorted out, frankly. If it's a 4-4-2, it has to be Garbett down the left-hand side and then probably Judge down the right-hand side, but then
Skews and Downs.
Skews and Downs, Hughes and Downs, Skews and Hughes. And then that leaves Dazelle out as well.
Oh, Christ.
And the one player in that Ipswich squad who can deliver the ball from a
Yeah, yeah,
double pivot
yeah.
into
It's
three off
Dizelle.
the front.
Yeah,
It's Andre Dazelle, but he has not played as a deep line playmaker in any of the pre-season friendlies.
Keep us guessing, man. It's going to keep us guessing. Now, going back to last week again. Will this come up in the questions? Flynn Downs at Notts County. You
You
were
mean,
there?
or do you
Was
mean
it?
at
No, at Cambridge.
Cambridge?
Sorry, at Cambridge, not Notts County. Flynn Downs at Cambridge. You were there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your take on that?
He just lost his rag.
Yeah,
Rage,
lost his rag.
complete
Now,
rage.
rage.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, and I saw Jules, our mate Jules Hughes, having
He
having
normally has a good
not
take.
yeah, no, a different. Yeah, he does, and he did. I think a difference of opinion with not a different. It wasn't a difference of opinion with our Rich. Actually, it was quite an interesting Twitter exchange. And Jules sort of said, Jules said, no, I don't think Jules is actually condoning it, but he was saying, and I've said this before, we have been such a soft touch over the past few seasons, such a soft touch. He doesn't mind that. He doesn't mind that. And Rich's take on it was, yeah, okay, take your point, and we have, but yeah, what's the point in that if he's just going to pick up suspension after suspension? So as long as that aggression, which I love, is controlled, then I'm all for that because we have been a soft touch and so easy to roll over. So easy.
2 points on that, Dave. One, he's playing for a manager that went to Norwich, got himself sent off, and was quoted, "I'm not having them pushing us around. We need to be
There you
tougher."
go. That's the mantra.
But
yeah,
two, I constantly hear annoying Robbie Savage going, "I was brilliant because I got 95 yellow cards and only one red card. I knew how to not get sent off." And Downs has
got to learn that art. That will come with experience. I like Downs. Apparently, Downs was. I know it's only Cambridge. Downs has been pretty much one of the standout players in
yeah,
pre-season.
he definitely has.
I mean, he was great. I know it's the end of season game, but he scored the goal against Leeds. He was fantastic against Leeds.
And Dave, he's our most League One ready young player for sure.
Absolutely. He could flourish. Absolutely flourish this season, and I think he's just. And no disrespect to Luke Hyam, people I've seen several people on social media compare him to him. I think he's a slight upgrade on. Don't get me wrong, Luke was very committed. Very committed. Well, look, okay, yeah, he's certainly upgrading Luke Hyam, so that'll be interesting. And I just hope he goes with the front two for Christ's sake, please.
I'm gonna keep up my mantra of if the pattern of play is right in a 4-2-3-1, that's way more attacking than a 4-4-2 because you get more people.
Yeah, good point.
If it's done properly. But Dave, if the pattern of play is not right and we can't move the ball round and we can't rotate, then I actually agree with you. Just be solid and have a goal scorer forward. But I just don't think that two forwards is always more attacking than one. If one forward is done well, and this is the thing, the devil's in the detail. If the football's good and the pattern of play's good, it frankly doesn't matter. We've seen teams win the World Cup with no forwards and be the best team in the world. So
Harry, our dear friend Harry, his real big mantra, on the pod was partnerships. Partnerships within the team. Now, Jackson and Norwood took me through that. Can you see a sort of potentially flourishing partnership there?
Possibly. Yeah.
I mean, Jackson's got pace, hasn't he? He's got pace to burn, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was one of those things in pre-season though. He scored 2 against Colchester, and then against Notts County he missed one clear chance. Then was really calm, scored one. Didn't have a good game against Cambridge, where he had a couple of good chances.
To be fair, they sounded shite that game anyway, but yeah,
wasn't great.
No.
Yeah. So
okay. Well,
my argument is, if you want a long-term good team and you're building a good pattern of play, my argument is that you play 4-2-3-1 and you build it around Judge, in that 3 off the front. I think the 4-2-3-1 suits more players than the 4-4-2. But if we can't get this passing right and we can't get our fullbacks forward, then get 2 up front, be tight, and do that.
Here's the thing, Ben. Here's the thing to throw at you. Do you think it'd have been more inclined to go with a 2 up had Elliott signed?
Elliott?
From Millwall?
Ooh. What, and just been quite direct?
Yeah. Well, surely, what's the point? Supposedly...
Dave, you'd then think that would be a 4-3-1-2, where you'd screen the back 4, you'd stick Judge behind both of them,
Yeah,
Possibly.
in that
It
sense.
just depends whether you're going to try and football your way out of League One or you're going to try and be tight and score goals. If you're going
Well,
to try and be
you're gonna
tight and nick goals, then 4-4-2 frankly might be better.
you're going to have to strike that balance, aren't you? You're not, you know, I'm sure League One. Although look at the players we've got, for Christ's sake, you know the potential quality there. I'm sure League One you won't get out just by playing pretty football. You won't. You
No.
just won't.
So I
No.
don't know. I don't know the answer.
Interesting.
Here's what I want to see, but this all depends on them being able to get fullbacks up the pitch, move the ball from the 2 to the 3. This is what I want to see, which would be Holy,
And
Danassian, Kenlock,
yeah,
Chambers, and
and
Ciala.
Ciala. Yeah.
Then the dream is Downs and Dazelle is the double pivot.
Which
Then
was
I don't know.
against which we had against Leeds.
No, Dazelle never
Not
came
slightly
back.
different, did he? We certainly was advanced. He scored, didn't
Oh
he?
no,
Yeah.
no, against Leeds. Sorry,
Yeah.
you might be
Last
right
game.
against Leeds. Or Dazelle could be fantastic on the right side forward position, inverted,
Which
coming
is where
in.
which he did play against Leeds. Certainly first half.
Well, that's where he
Certainly
scored from,
first
wasn't
half.
it? And then you
Yeah.
three off
Yeah.
the
Coming
front:
off.
Judge, Garbutt, Dazelle, another.
There's a lot of quality. You know, when you look at that
Guion
side, when you look
Edwards,
at that,
Danny
when you look at
Rowe,
look, he's got Danny. Oh my God, I forgot about Danny Rowe. How's he looked?
and the
He's got
absolute nuisance. Yeah,
Oh man,
just pace. Yeah.
Joe Fairs summed it up. Always sums up Rowe quite well for me. Joe, who's has got an eye on respect Joe, who always says that whenever Rowe comes on, something seems to evolve around him. Something seems to happen. Like Rowe, there's a squad, but again, pre-season. Let's look again. Fucking hell, Ben. Injuries again. Bishop.
Oh, stop it. Yeah.
God, Enciala.
Nidem.
No, oh God, Nydam. Oh my God. Oh, you were there, weren't you? Was that in front
just a
of you?
50-50 block tackle. Yeah.
No, there's nothing in it. I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
So
Because that was an interest. Because Nydam, he was playing him left back.
yeah. He obviously is trying to find a solution at left back. And obviously we know Nidam's nicely left-footed and comfortable.
Oh, and
on
I'm
the
sorry.
ball.
And also what came out this week again. I think Joe posted this that Lancaster's apparently he's got a reaction to his stress fracture in his back.
Again, that's another one that suits either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. We've got a lot of players who could be the difference, Dave. Guion Edwards, Jack Lancaster, Andre Dazelle, Alan
Edwards-
Judge in that row of
tell
three
you what,
off the
hang on.
front.
John Nolan, forgotten even to mention
Completely forgotten him. Yeah.
So Nolan hasn't figured in pre-season.
No.
Edwards hasn't figured in pre-season.
No.
Honestly, when you look at it's just certain areas. You look at the defence and you think, yeah, okay, as a central defence, we're a bit short. But you sort of look at the rest of the squad and you think, if they're ever all
Dave,
fit, Christ Almighty!
I just think for your 4-4-2, it'll end up like a Mick 4-4-2. We don't have the wide players to play a 4-4-2, and it'll be a Mick 4-4-2.
We need Edwards, don't we? Again for Edwards.
Edwards can't play 4-4-2. He exposes the fullback every time.
Yeah, good point. He doesn't defend. Yeah, good point.
He needs to be
We'll see.
further up with help.
All will be revealed. We better get on the post bag, mate. We're going to be until.
Yeah, sorry, that's just my
No,
my
it's
rant.
good.
Also,
good.
someone will tweet us and say, "Why do you need to play the same formation every game, every season?" So it could be that at home and.
Horses for courses.
Yeah, at home.
4-3-3.
At home, 4-4-2. Push it. Dominate and just get men up the pitch. Right, let's have a look at some of these then, Dave.
Go on.
Andy Gray, not that one. With only days away from the new season, our centre-back options are very limited. Lambert clearly doesn't like our right-back options. We've had months to get this plan. Why haven't we sorted it out, Dave?
Well, I think we've almost covered that, haven't we? I think. It hasn't really been sorted out. Why? I don't really know. Obviously, funds haven't been. We're aware that funds really haven't been at his disposal, and I guess the right player hasn't really come up. Clearly, it concerned. I mean, I really like. I always hope that Emmanuel will come back from his spell at Rotherham, having had a really, let's face it, a positive season there, and really kick on, but he just hasn't, and I don't know why. He's got all the attributes. He's got the attributes to be a bloody centre half. I mean, look at his physique and everything, but is it he just switches off, doesn't he? Is that what it is? He just lacks concentration, just lacks that, I don't know, smartness. I'm not sure what it is. And again, you hear him talk and he comes, over quite, as a quite intelligent guy, quite an eloquent guy, but I don't know. What is it?
Who knows? Who knows?
I don't know.
Let's keep this moving, Dave. Troy, who's very entertaining on Twitter. Who do you reckon will sign centre back wise before Saturday? Well, that's been answered today, Troy. James Wilson.
Someone, I think again, Jules put forward. Why do we never revisit that Curtis Tilt from Blackpool, who I think is about or has just signed an extended contract with Blackpool, so hasn't got anywhere.
Because it would cost a fee, probably.
That's probably why.
Justin. Imagine your ITFC, Justin Crane, imagine your ITFC manager and new owners decide you have to release 4 of our unavailable players. From
What?
Chambers, Toto, Nolan, Lancaster, Teddy, Tristan, Freddie, Flynn, and Ben Morris. Who goes? You decide. That's a Big Brother quote, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
God, you keep the ones with the highest resale value, don't you? Which
Yes, you do.
should be Ted Bishop, shouldn't it? But can he stay fit? Probably, sadly, Ben Morris because of his long injury. Not
Probably
Flynn.
Ben Morris.
Possibly Freddie, but he's just signed a new contract.
But he's just signed, today or yesterday.
Didn't
New
mention him either,
new
did
tier deal. Is it Chambo? Do you put Chambo out to grass, do you?
You can't, can you, after everything he's done?
Not really.
ITFC Blues with lots of S's. Do you think that overall we've had a successful summer? I think in terms of it not being particularly, but we don't know. It could transpire that the squad
We could have had a brilliant summer.
Yeah, we could have had a brilliant summer working on whatever they've been working on. Yeah, we don't know. Gary at UPOP3, out of Ben and Dave, which one is Wallace and which one is Gromit? So that's the owner and the dog.
Yeah, so the owner is Wallace and Gromit is the dog. Do you like cheese?
I like cheese when it's cooked. That sounds weird, doesn't it?
No, I like all sorts of cheese. So I'll have to be Wallace then, and you'd be Gromit, I guess. And you've got like the sort of coat to be Gromit.
Puppy dog hair.
Yeah.
Aaron, who do you think will win each division, Prem to League Two?
Oh,
Dave,
Man
I don't know
City.
anything about the Prem. Okay, Man City. Who's going to win the champ?
Cardiff by about 20 points.
League One, Pompey.
Pompey or Sunderland. Sorry.
League Two.
Sonny knows in it. Who's in it?
If Lambert,
who's in League Two? Who got ready? Did Plymouth?
I don't know.
Cole U. Yeah, I know
There
they're
you
in
go.
it.
Cole
U.
U
There you go.
and Frank
Yeah.
Noble.
Yeah.
Average fee for dad. If Lambert only makes one more signing between now and the window closing, which area of the pitch do you both think it's most vital to be? Are we centre back in that?
Well, we're centre back in it if that came before the signing. If you're asking me now, full back.
For what, right back? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Attacking right back. In the
Dylan,
mode of Kyle Walker.
am I the only person who feels Judge isn't as good as he's been made to be?
I saw this.
Just seems to get in others' way and no end product.
No, I can
Can
sort of
I
relate
have a
to
little
that.
chip in on this one?
Go on, Ben.
When Judge came on against Cambridge, for the rest of pre-season, our midfield had no rotation whatsoever. And I know if you take it as a negative, Judge wandering around, if you take that as a positive, the second Judge came on, those players started moving and rotating and finding different spaces because they had to. Because Alan Judge would run into Luke
plays in their space.
Because he moves into their space. I actually think if you do that well, like Norwich did last season, and the 3 rotate and they move.
What player would you compare? What player would you compare to Alan Judge? What player are you talking about there particularly? If you have
I'm talking about players rotating, moving position,
rotation,
being difficult, hard to pick up. So what I'm saying is, I agree. Well, it depends what you think end product is now as well, because if you saw my pod with Blades Analytic, he values key passes higher than assist.
Not necessarily goals and assists. I mean, he'll be judged on obviously goals.
Let's
face it. Let's face it. Alan Judge, excuse the pun, potentially should have the season if he stays fit, if he stays with us the full season, and we have a reasonably good season. He'll be surely in the League One Team of the Year. Surely he's a standout.
He needs to deliver now, though, doesn't he?
He does need to deliver.
But please,
and good to see he's fit. And I'm seeing he'll start.
Please see if you agree with me. Look, if everybody else just holds their position and stands still and he runs round, it looks stupid. But if people rotate with him, that will be impossible to defend against if it's done well.
But the point. Sorry, who was it who made the point? Who was it?
Dylan.
Asked the question. Dylan, the point Dylan makes is a good one, and you just said now is the time. He has got to stand up for all his rotation, for all his
Stand and
no
deliver.
doubt
Money or your
quality.
life.
Money or your life.
Dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Hi.
Huh.
Huh.
I think it's 1981. Number
Jump through a
one for him.
window.
That's it. Diana Dawes was in that video. Do you know
She
Diana
was.
Dawes? Old sort of movie
And
name. But anyway,
we just pay quick tribute to Ipswich guitarist Tom Edwards, who died maybe 2 years ago. No age, not much older than me. Was Adamant's.
no way.
He was his MD. Yeah. So
What do you mean? His manager?
no, he was MD on the stage. He was guitar. He was in charge of the band.
What
Yeah,
stage director?
great
Oh,
musician.
really?
Great musician.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sad.
you knew him. Obviously,
We'll say
you knew
knew
him.
him from Ipswich. Yeah, great guy.
Shit, now,
Tom.
what was I going to say? Yes, now is the time. It's quite right. Judge, stand up, stand and deliver. Goals, assists, key passes, defending, everything.
Paul at
Superman.
Blue WEINITFC. I can't do it. Are we overdoing the panicking? Are we our defence? Considering we don't have fullbacks, considering we have fullbacks with league experience, Chambers is only out for one match and Toto's back in September. He's saying that once it's settled, if you have Donasian, Kenlock, Chambers and Ciala, well, we'll actually be fine and we just have to ride out August.
Yeah, but again, September, you're talking 6-7 games in. You know, it's
Fair.
a good chance. I mean, you're talking a big while. Enciala's of all the injuries, and you know, Enciala, Bishop. Okay, well, Bishop, you're almost taken as a given, but Enciala was a real blow for me.
He looked like Alan Hansen against that Crington.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my hood, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the one that got me, and you think, Christ Almighty. But there you go.
Portman Tales. In a combined 11 between the two teams, do any Burton players make the cut? Even with our lack of centre-back, I still wouldn't take Jake Buxton.
I bigged Jake Buxton up, didn't I? Yeah, I quite like the big forward, I must admit. I quite like Akins. Boys probably like for like Norwood, but yeah, I quite like Akins. I don't really... And, well, we're talking fullbacks, but whether he'd fit in getting up and down...
Brayford.
Obviously, that Brayford, very experienced.
Yeah.
Very experienced, yeah.
Mark says, welcome back.
Thanks,
Bookies
Mark.
have us for promotion finishing runners-up. Could we have the Blue Monday presenters' predictions before the league starts? Obviously, just for fun, we won't hold it to you. 4 to 8 from me.
Yeah, I was about to say 6th. Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm not agreeing with you. Yeah, that's where I am. Yeah,
it is a good take on this, Dave. This is Will. What will our system be on Boxing Day? 4-2-3-1, 4-4-2, or 4-4-2 diamond?
Well, when we're 12 points clear by Boxing Day, I mean, we don't want to worry about systems, mate.
Your horrible argument has convinced me now that we're just going to chuck it in, shithouse it, and play 4-4-2. Screw the football, get the pacey guy up front. And
Ben, I think that'd have been more the way. I still think that might have been more the way had we signed Elliott. Although you said that would have been more of a whatever you said 3-2-1, I think. But I don't know. It's such this season more than obviously it's an unknown. It's going to be intriguing, I think. God knows. God knows.
Dave asked for predictions. Dave Gort, we've done that. Jack asked, which trialist do you think will sign? I can say with great certainty it will be James Wilson.
James Wilson.
Was there any need to sign Norris, given that we already have 2 backup goalkeepers to Holy?
Now, that's a strange one, because we got Holy. Then we signed... Didn't we sign... That was our first signing, wasn't it? The Polish...
Oh, God, yeah. My answer to that is always, it depends how much we're paying Norris. If it's a good deal, then bring him in, but yeah.
I assume Harry Wright will be shipped out on loan somewhere,
so.
I assume. Yeah.
With a nice clause back. FPL Tructor, could you please discuss the independent story on the medical team, please? Tread carefully with this one, Dave. So this story ran and spoke about the duty of care towards the mental health of an unnamed youth player whose back injury was misdiagnosed. And the startling accusation was, when you come in, you don't get to see the physio. He's too busy with the first team guys. You have to wait around for a couple of hours.
That was one. I think of more concern to me was that what I read about this. I did a bit of digging on this story. The poor young lad. It was a pre-existing back condition, so he had a sort of suspect back when he was taken on as presumably as a scholar or whatever he was. I think he was an academy scholar. Is that right? I think he was.
Pass. You sounds like you know more about it than I do.
No. I think I've just done a little bit of digging. From what I understand, I think I'm sure I read this, and again, shoot me down if I'm wrong out there. I think it was a pre-existing condition.
Dave,
which
is
puts
this more fuel to the fire that our medical department is not fit
Yes.
for purpose?
Well, when I say not fit for purpose, but yeah, certainly there's some. You spoke about Grant Warden's duty of care. Yeah, that should go right through the club from first team to bloody under 10s or whatever.
Although we should say, I was at all three of these games. Sears, Leitner, completely innocuous. Freeman and Ward, completely innocuous.
Yeah,
Neidham, the Notts County right back,
Yeah,
they were,
yeah.
unlucky.
That's not. I think people realise that you can't do anything about broken bones and like impact injuries, you call that. But it's just the strains, that NCR. Again, is NCR hammy? Is it? I don't know. Is it hamstring with MCR? I don't bloody know. It's these recurring muscle injuries that is a concern. But really, do we get any more than any other club? Well, I don't know.
Fair. We'll just do a few more of these, Dave, because we spoke about not waffling on the pods, and away we go on the first one. Dommy Boy 79. Do you think Will Keane will come into the frame in terms of centre forward?
No. I'd like to see him. I thought he was quality, Will Keane, and I'm sure he'd be great at League One, but I don't think we could afford his wage.
Lee at Ginger Eagle. Are we beginning the new campaign with genuine optimism or cautious pessimism? Go on, Dave. Bit of both. Go on.
I'm going to say cautious optimism.
Matthew Noble says, nice. With Lambert going full Pulis in pre-season, we're not talking about throw-ins, we're talking about his attire. Yeah. If you were a football manager, which current manager's look would you copy? He says Paul Tisdale's.
Pep Guardiola. Cool dude, isn't he? What a dude. Are we talking football league manager? No,
there was a picture of Scott Parker in like jeans and a shirt the other day that looked quite Brent.
Oh, did it really?
So I'll go for Scott
Parker. Were his jeans quite pulled up, high waist above his waistline, and did he have like Cuban heels on?
You don't see a heel like that very often. Ollie Allen, do you reckon Bart's recent interview about joining Millwall and his social media post suggests he isn't planning on returning? Can I just chime in on this with my BTEC body language skills?
Go on, mate.
He looked away and his blink rate increased and his eyes shifted greatly when he was saying, "Oh, I've been trying to push this through for ages." So I think he was just saying what players say when
had to go. I think he was the sacrificial lamb for a season, let's say.
Mullet, welcome back. Another season of concentrate questions from
another season of mulletisms.
Mulletization. And you know what you have to do with a mullet question, Dave? You have to mull it over.
Hey,
you just stop there. I've won the pod.
Just stop there. You have.
Can we accept a poor start due to our weakened defence rather than signing a defender for the sake of it? Good question.
Can we say it's poor start? You
don't accept a poor start for any reason, do you, Dave?
No, I don't accept no poor start. In fact, I've done a bit of a prediction for the first 6 games. Does that come out at all soon or not?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I've counted up, so 6 games, Bolton away, Sunderland home.
It's come up 15 points.
No, Burton away, Sunderland home, Peterborough away, Wimbledon home, Bolton away, Shrewsbury home, 18. Ben, you? No, I've actually gone for. I've gone for. Oh, it would be a good start, and it'd be a start akin.
12.
Akin. I've actually gone 13. Have I gone?
Wow, that's over 2 points per game.
I've gone for a win at Burton. Is that a bit?
You do what I've gone for a draw
at home. I've gone for a draw at home to Sunderland. I've gone for a defeat away to Peterborough. I think Peterborough might be quite good, and especially good on their own patch. I've gone for we'll beat Wimbledon. I've gone for Christ. I think bloody academy side should be Bolton away, and I've got 3 points at Shrewsbury home. So after those first 3 fixtures, which I see are potentially first one up, always away, quite tricky. But then you've got get Sunderland, Peterborough out of the way, Wimbledon home, Bolton away, Shrewsbury home. There's 9 points there, surely.
There you go. So 13. Extrapolate that out, Dave. That's about 96 points you're predicting, and only about 8 defeats all season. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Super Franz. Have we signed enough this summer? Should we anticipate more signings before the deadline?
Have we signed enough this summer?
We need to
Well,
organise the ones we bloody well got, don't we, Dave?
we will. We absolutely will. As we said, yeah, as we said. So, as this guy, is it confirmed? Do we know? Has this Wilson actually put pen to paper?
No, but Andy and Stu were pretty like they knew
Bullish,
it was happening.
bullish.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
so
They're usually on it, aren't they?
they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Benjamin Aurier, how would you compare this ITFC squad to championship teams in the past who have been relegated? He's talking about the big ones, like when Leeds and Norwich and whatnot went down, because they all tended to come down with massively bloated squads and,
Yeah,
you
which we
know,
have. Yeah, which we haven't, which we certainly haven't got. And massively bloated players. I refer to Grant Holt actually.
there you go.
It was very useful in League One and very useful in the Championship when they came back up as well. So yeah.
If you could have, this is Harry Butcher, if you could have done one thing differently this summer transfer window, then what would it be? You've answered it earlier. You wouldn't have sold Harrison, would you?
No, no, don't think so.
Nah.
I think he was worth keeping. But again, wage, I suppose. I don't know.
Super Friends, we've done one from him. Jules, surprised we haven't bought Tilton, you've mentioned that. James Gulk, why are Burton being so cruel? Called up to get tickets and my postcode was labelled restricted. He lives in Stratford upon Avon. They wouldn't let him buy a ticket. To be
What,
fair, Burton only holds about 5,000, doesn't it? So
Stratford upon Avon, massive. Yeah,
yeah,
the
sorry,
mean streets
James.
of Stratford. No, I don't know about that.
Get in there.
Someone forwarded actually me a question. With regard to Aaron Stat's favourite player, Dave. When are they going to bring on effing Drinnan? He hasn't been seen. Has he been seen at all? Have you seen him at all
Dave, I
pre-season?
don't think I've ever seen him in my life, and I've been to most Ipswich games.
Well, you must have seen him warming up and down the touchline at Bristol City the season before
I was
last.
probably writing something on a notebook.
You probably were, to be fair. Or the likes of him. I mean, we're still he's like Barry Cotter still hanging around the squad, but again, been banished. Him and Drinnan, the pair of them appear to have been banished. Nowhere
Drinan.
near.
Simon at
Ireland,
Portman
Drinnan,
Gins, do you
Twyman.
expect a late flurry of signings now Bart's wages are off the book? One word answer.
No.
Jax Larder, what will we be celebrating on Monday? A clean sheet, a win, or will it be all doom and gloom? Probably all three now in Ipswich. We'll win, we'll keep a clean sheet, and it will still be doom and gloom, yeah?
No, well, I'm not going to dwell on what might happen as clean sheet. What could be the worst? Win, clean sheet.
Another injury.
That's
Stop it.
Stop it.
We're not even going to say it. MJ, even with a far superior budget, Sunderland didn't get promoted. Sunderland signed Will Grigg in January for £4 million and were on year 2 parachute money.
And they've still got Aidan
Given
McGeady.
our current rebuild and injury list, is it unrealistic to expect promotion? Could a season of attractive football and pragmatic results, we've spoken about that, haven't we, ending with a solid foundation and saleable players be enough? Would you accept, Dave, 8th place, winning more than you're losing, the squad getting organised, and Dazelle having a really good season? And
yes, do you know what? I think I would. I honestly think I would. Yes, because again, that would at least get some semblance of winning mentality back around the squad. Yeah, I would take that. What you said 8th. You said 4 to 8th, as we said 4 to 8th. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's just a bit of a lame prediction. Like a World Cup, everyone goes, quarterfinals. Yeah, quarterfinals. You don't even think about it, do you? So I've just not put my neck on the block. Let's just apologise quickly to Scott, to Mrs. Nuts, to Luke, to Cobble.
Hang on. Mrs. Dan. Nuts is usually good. What's Mrs. Nuts got to say, just quickly?
Would either of you ever consider a hair transplant? I'll let you take that one, Dave.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've checked in next week. Then obviously you're going to have that hair till you're.
Oh, I'm going to cut it off when it goes grey.
Okay.
Alistair, Tim. Richard says, can David talk about Sir Bobby for a while, please? He's done it, and it's great that the movie comes out and the play comes out and the legacy lives strong.
Legend, Rich, absolutely legend. I think I replied to him and said I don't need any encouragement to talk about Sir Bobby. Yeah, and absolutely. We'll never see his like again.
And Dave will be talking about Sir Bobby. We'll drop this week in ICFC history. Just as and when Dave and Statman want to do it. We're now at the point where we've covered an awful lot of games and we're kind of running out. So they'll come in as and when, but that show will
on sort of suitable anniversaries or something like that. Yeah, when there's a anniversary of a sort of interesting game, interesting week. Yeah, that'd be good.
As I said earlier in the pod, Dave has carte blanche. He does what he wants. Dave is Diamond. He
He
does
does.
what he wants.
I've got carte blanche. I've got carte blanche for tea. I think. I don't know
Carte
what I've
Blanche,
got.
I believe, was the pseudonym used by Elton John on some song that he wrote with Bernie
Was it?
Taupin as
Was
well.
it? By
Could
the
be
way,
wrong about that.
did you get to see? That was in the summer. Did you get to see Rocket Man at all?
Rocket Man, burning
Yeah.
out a fuse,
No.
I hear a lot. No, but
Sorry.
I did see
Are
The
you, are you,
Lion King the other day. Arsene Wenger, had a boosty booty boo.
what
Hana
and what
mana wene pote
how was
many.
shit? How was the Lion King?
The
How was
Lion
it?
King, it just
Any
made me
good?
want to watch the. I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. Now I want to watch the cartoon one. I should have just watched the
Yeah.
cartoon one,
Should have
shouldn't
watched a
I? It's a
cartoon once.
classic.
Got it out of the way.
Classic
Save.
teaches kids about the circle of life, and this is the circle of a podcast, which is now ending. Dave, are you pleased to be back?
Ben, I am pleased to be back. Yeah, 4 years into our fifth season. It's a bit like me and you. I'm a bit sort of confused that there's no sort of close era behind you as it used to be in the old
Dave,
pod bunker, of course.
in my house in Bedfordshire,
Yeah.
I have a filming room.
Sorry, where are you now? Where are you sitting now? In your
In
house
the
in
filming
Bedfordshire?
room in Bedfordshire, yeah.
That's the filming room. That's your spare room, isn't it?
I have
Your spare room.
multiple spare rooms in my house in Bedfordshire.
Hang on, is this groom blue? Sorry, there we go. Shit. Oh God, it's out there now.
Oh,
is this
it's already out.
Is this Bloom Towers?
No, it's like about half the size of Diamond Tower, so you're not
Ball-
reversing that joke on me.
Ball bags. Okay.
But
Alright.
I've got a
filming
lawn.
room.
Out there is a lawn.
Do you mow it? Oh, I saw it. It was
Yeah.
immaculate.
Yeah.
Absolutely immaculate.
I've got a lawnmower
Have you
and
got
a
a dog?
sprinkler. I have reached middle age. My missus
Have
has
you got-
got 2 dogs, which we share custody of.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay. Your missus
Yeah.
got 2 dogs we share. So they don't live with you all the time. Is that what you're
No.
saying? Oh, they're right. Okay. Fine. So Sunday. Okay. Right.
yeah, they're sometimes.
So
here.
when the dogs come round, do you let them shit on your grass?
No, absolutely not.
Fine. Okay.
And
yeah.
if it does, it's removed quickly and not by me.
that was my point. I was
So
coming.
is this a metaphor for the season, Dave? Will this season be a big turd on a grass, or will it be a beautifully mowed lawn with my hose lock sprinkler resplendent in May?
Bit of both. Bit of both. No,
It's a
look,
diamondism to finish
do
with.
you know what? I don't know. I'm guardedly looking forward to this season.
Lake
I
Garda.
don't really know why. I don't know,
Yeah.
but hey, let's hope. So you're obviously off to Burton.
I'm off
Off for
to
Burton. No,
Luton
you're off
Borough.
tomorrow. Yes.
Then I'm
Is
off
that the
to
first?
Burton Ipswich. Then I'm off to Bristol City Leeds, and then I'm off to Huddersfield Derby. Boom.
Well, hang on. Let me get this
4 in
right.
4 days.
So tomorrow you're doing Luton, Middlesbrough.
Borough.
which is the curtain raiser.
Yeah, curtain jerker.
Burton
Ipswich.
Town. Then Sunday,
Bristol City Leeds.
Monday.
Huddersfield Derby.
Oh, can't
You
you
love
tell?
that, don't you, Dave?
Can't you tell you're on holiday? Huddersfield Derby could be an interesting. Obviously, we can't talk Championship now. It's almost like our days in the Championship.
But you can follow me on YouTube to find out all about the Championship, where you're not allowed to shout at me for covering the Championship as well, because the Blue Monday podcast is still here covering.
Even I have got a couple of away, reasonably early season fixtures.
You're
not
at
penciled
Peterborough, aren't you, Dave?
in. No, I can't go to Peterborough. There's a wedding that day. I can't. I'm at Gillingham on the 21st of September, and I'm at Southend, which I think is mid-October. Yeah.
Look forward to that.
So it should be good.
Dave, we've got to wrap up. Say something witty and maybe acerbic to finish the pod.
I haven't really got anything particularly witty or acerbic to say.
Be careful what you wish for then.
Well, other than, mate, enjoy your football this weekend. My God, there's a football marathon. Have you ever done 4 in 4? You've never done 4 in 4 before, have you? Have you?
Oh God, yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Standard for Ben, isn't it? Standard.
Yeah.
Okay, mate. Now enjoy, and here's the 3 points on a good start on Saturday.
Boom.